Good morning, good morning. I am coming in today just to kind of go through my pre-market analysis, and we're just going to start off with the trade that we are currently in as of this moment. So I just wanted to go ahead and break this down just slightly, so therefore we kind of see where we are located within our trade and see what opportunities we could have hopefully a little bit later today. So as of right now, we are in GU. So I'm off of the 1 hour time frame. If I go over to the 4 hour time frame, we can see that right here we were in this nice uptrend, and then we started plateauing here, came down, made a lower high, made a higher low, made a higher high, and then we then broke structure, giving us a new low from here, right? So bringing back to this new low. And then we came up, made a lower high here, and now we're currently in this falling pattern at this very moment. I'm anticipating this price action to continue to at least give us this triple bottom right here, and that's where I'm going to be taking profits off of this this exact setup off of this account. I have another account going for a longer term pullback, so my longer term pullback is going to be much farther down, but this is still my take profit one zone, which is this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete what I just drew. My take profit zone is right about here at 1.32. It's mainly right here, so right where this previous support zone kind of is located, roughly in this line area here. This is where my overall take profit is located as of right now. As of right on this trade, the reason why I'm taking my full take profit is I am trying to pass this prop firm. This exact trade is, I think, a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward, so it is not a bad trade at all. Typically I aim for a 1 to 3, but I've noticed that whenever I am trading like GU and so forth, look at that, it's a 1 to 3. So I'm aiming just to hold this trade out until we hit this take profit area, and then that's it. A lot of different times I've noticed that whenever I'm aiming to try to get a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 risk reward ratio off of like GU, like forex pairs specifically, sometimes they don't always go in my favor directly. So with that said, I am planning on changing my rules in the sense of like taking most of my profits at a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, and then letting the remaining ride, and then just taking profits along the way. So my simple thoughts are 25% off of every single touch point, so 25% off to R, and then move to break even, and then so forth and so on, right? So like right here, we have officially made a lower high, and we are starting to break this low. So this is a good area to go break even as of right now. So worst case scenario, we lose a couple cents on the dollar, right? Beyond that, we are pretty much break even, and if the trade continues to go in our favor, we will get taken out in profit, and then that will also pass our prop firm account. If this goes up about $70 ish, right before even touching here, and I'm currently at the trade, I'll manually exit past the phase 1 of 2 phases, and then we'll continue to the next step. So let's go ahead and jump right into news events, and then we're gonna go from there. So let me just reload Forex Factory real quick. So for Forex Factory, we got right here. So we had GDP that came in a little bit earlier this morning. Overall was looking pretty good for GDP. So that could be a reason why we're pulling back down. GDP, let me just load this real quick. USD. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so that's pretty much the news for today. It's mainly this one right here, and then just kind of coming down, we have a few USD news events as well. So unemployment claims, we have Empire State Manufacturing Index, so some orange and a red folder, and then a handful of yellow different folders as well. Going into tomorrow morning, we have a GBP as well. We have one more. The governor speaks. So just kind of pinpoint, we have an opportunity where tomorrow morning we could get additional fluctuation in the market of GU specifically. So we'll just kind of keep an eye out. And then as we're holding over to the weekend, Saturday there's no news events, which is great. Sunday, only after the market opens, there's a news event. So the only thing we got to be mindful of is any gaps that could occur during just events that happen in the world outside of regular news events. So just being mindful of all of that. That's what we got to kind of look for. Besides that, let's go ahead and hop right into GU, and then actually no, let's jump right into the DXY, and then we'll just kind of keep on breaking everything down like we normally do. So very simple. DXY has been plateauing the last couple of days. So this is exactly the area that I was anticipating a hesitation to start forming. So therefore we can then find its footing of the ceiling, which is resistance up here, and then aiming for a pullback to continue lower. It looks like we are holding the lows as of right now. So what could happen is we could break the high, wick up, and then we could come back down and close below, giving us our full 61% retracement, and then we could continue to break the lows. But right now we are still in this little uptrend at this very moment, with a higher low here, higher low, higher low, higher low at this very moment. So once price breaks this low area, we could start falling very quickly, just kind of like this candle, right? Kind of like this candle, right? Once we broke the low, we officially just dropped, right? We broke the low, we officially dropped. So for that reason, I'm thinking that once we break this low area, specifically right here along where this kind of double bottom area was, once we break this, I think we're gonna just drop significantly. So that's what I'm thinking of on the DXY. Everything else I really have is already been drawn on off of the daily. Again, I've been thinking of a daily pullback to the upside and then a continuation to the downside as of right now. And it looks like we might get that opportunity coming soon. And then let's go ahead and hop into GU, just to kind of see where we are at. And as of right now, we're going to go to a daily just to see where the daily's looking. And then let's see what we got. I can honestly, this is my pullback zone that I was anticipating in my continuation area. So it literally pulled back very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. You can see where the shift of structure was: higher low, higher high, lower low, right? And broke with significant price action too. So for that reason, we are thinking sells. So break of structure, pull back between the 50-61, and now we're continuing to go lower. So as of right now, this is my full trade. I got into an entry opportunity right here as an add-on, but I also got into an entry opportunity all the way up here with like a 1-to-8 risk reward ratio. So I have two trades on. One is a 1-to-8R, and then one is a 1-to-4R. So two great trades, and right now I'm just holding. My couple of stop loss area, or my take profit zones, are going to be as such. So let me go ahead and list them here. So we got a stoplight. So stoplight 1, boom. We got stoplight 2, which is going to be right around here. Stoplight. There we go. And then this would be my next stoplight right here. Stoplight. Boom. And then last but not least, my final stoplight, which is right above here. Stoplight. What? There it goes. Okay, so the reason why for my stoplights, so just a quick example. So I'm in this trade, I'm thinking that price is going to continue lower, right? So what could happen during this trade? What's happening? Okay, it's fine. We'll figure something out in a little bit. Okay, so let's look at this. So once price has broken structure, right? Broken structure here. I'm thinking of a pullback, and if price wants to get here and create a double bottom off of this structure point and then try to reverse, right? It's possible because of the uptrend we're in. So what I'm thinking is if we can get at least to this area, we could take 25%, go break even, and then at least we got some sort of money off the table. Just in case we do reverse, then we're out of the trade, right? Boom. If we come back and we have a rejection from here, and then we continue lower, I'm thinking the next pivotal stopping point is exactly where it pivoted and stopped before. So therefore you have wick, but push to the upside, right? So for those reasons, I'm thinking we could stop here before we give a major rejection back up, and then we could actually then create a possible higher low and then continue heading up, right? So if that was the case, then there we go. We're going ahead and getting out of 50% of our move, and then we're moving our stop loss, below or above the most recent highs. So therefore we're trailing these as we continue lower. If price wants to continue lower, the next stopping ground right here could be the high probability of a setup before it really does reverse. And if and only if it wants to come down to this zone, which is quote unquote a fair value gap, you can say. If it wants to get down to here, then I'm all for price action coming all the way down before making a significant major pullback to the upside. Now it could come a little bit lower than this, but this is my area that I would be fully out of the trade. I don't care about catching 100% of the move. I just want to catch the majority of this move if possible. And like I said, this is a 1 to 8 risk reward ratio, so I'm perfectly fine with that. Right now, the only downfall is price is not really reacting that great at the moment. So it had a nice reaction at the very beginning, and then it just kind of pulled back and kind of started plateauing a little bit with minor structure coming down. But right now it's currently rejecting these lows, but we still have 2.5 hours to see what this candle wants to do. So we're just going to keep on monitoring this trade throughout, this week and see how it does. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got off of GU right now. Let's go right into gold. So gold has been having a nice rejection area where it's just kind of been indecisive. So here's a daily candles. We have pushed up very nicely with these candlesticks here. We had this high point made, and then price tried to break the high just by a little bit, and then gave a major rejection here. And then price opened back up, pushed up, and gave a nice bullish engulfing bar. But then we came back and we took out all these lows here, and now we're currently pushing back up at this very moment. So what could happen is we could continue higher. Yes, it's definitely probable, right? We could continue higher, but if, right, this is just a big if we can reject these highs and start pulling back off of the 4 hour, right here, for example, if we start rejecting these highs, so we have a minor higher high, and then price is just really failing at these highs. We do have this higher low and this higher low right here. So therefore we do have bullish structure still forming, but a ton of weakness right here. So what I'm anticipating is we're going to get a pullback back to this kind of weakness area, and then we're going to finally get a break, or we could get a consolidation where price kind of does this, and then finally a lower high and then a break. So therefore we might not see too much movement between now and the end of the week, but you just never know. There could be a news catalyst that just comes out, and then gold just shoots crazy back up, because we do have a higher low. For these higher lows specifically, these are not in my area of interest, so for that reason I would have to stay out of this trade. So I need a 4 hour major pullback, and yes, you could say that there is a Fibonacci from A to B because there's a technical new high, and then we rejected the 78. But in my opinion, due to us already failing multiple times here too, the likelihood of us getting to the negative 27 is less probable, right? It's probably a 25% opportunity factor versus like a 50-50 or even a 60-40, right, in my favor. So for those reasons, I would have to stay out. So that's just kind of my pinpoint off of gold. I am personally expecting a pullback. And once we get a nice solid pullback, then I can look for an entry off of gold. Outside of that, we have NAS 100 kind of starting to break out of this consolidation zone. So we'll just kind of keep on monitoring this. Nothing too crazy here. We are kind of rejecting at these highs still. So you can see rejection at the high, rejection, just like gold right now is just hesitating on breaking these highs. S&P 500, this one's a little bit better than NQ. We are actually breaking the highs. We're just not breaking the highs that significantly. So it's like a minor break to the high, pull back, and then right now we're currently trying to break these highs again. This, in my opinion, there's not as much momentum as I would prefer. I would rather catch moves such as like these moves here, right? Or even some of these downtrend moves here, which is a really nice swing opportunity. And you can see that there's typically a lot of this in the S&P 500. It's just unfortunately right now, as I'm looking at the market, this just looks very slow momentum, and for the slow momentum reason, I'm currently not interested in trading this. It's just less potential move that I could get, so a little bit riskier in a sense of like catching a smaller move. So for that reason, I'm just not interested at this time. Jumping right into silver. Silver is very similar to gold. I am thinking that I'm going to get a major pullback for silver, which could happen between the 78 area and the 50% area. So hopefully we can get a nice pullback. We have started this major bearish engulfing bar, which is really nice. So all we need is a lower high. And then once we get a confirmed lower high somewhere in this area here, I'm hoping that we can continue lower. And then if we can continue lower, then I'm expecting us to get a possible buy entry, possibly at these highs, and then continue to ride the trend higher. Again, never saying that this won't come all the way down here. It could continue further up before we get that pullback. But I am going to be waiting for a pullback before we go ahead and catch this move. Let's see, UJ. So UJ, I am off of the daily. So off of the daily on UJ, I caught pretty much this whole move right here. I ended up getting out almost at the top as of right now. The only reason why I got out was because on this specific account right here, I had the opportunity where it was already pretty much at the peaking point, and I didn't want to give back all of the winnings that I've been holding for over, I think it was 2 weeks. It was either 2.5 weeks. So I decided to go ahead and exit with my 3R and call it a day off of those trades. So I had 2 trades, both of them were up 3R, so I decided to close on both, giving me a total of a 6R win. And for that reason, I decided to close this trade. And I was in UJ on my other account. The only thing is I passed phase 2. So for that reason, I had to exit, and now I'm waiting for another entry opportunity. Let's just look at the close positions, so therefore you can see them. Last 30 days. See right here, you have a 300 plus and a 300 plus. Both of these, I believe I was risking $100 or right around $100 on each trade, right? A 0.18, a 0.17, and I opened these trades on 1/6 and 12/29, so you can see how long I held these trades for, and these are the areas that I got out in that regard. So this one hit full take profit, and this one I manually closed, and then you can see all of my other wins and losses on this account. So I had some nice wins and some small losses, so there we go, and that was in the last 30 days. And then just kind of going back into UJ right here. I am in the anticipation, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that take profit zone. This is where I see market structure. We had a low point, high, low point, high. We had a pullback here. We had this lower high, this higher low, and then this major push up. So technical total, we've had this. This was the most recent higher low to most recent high here, which then gave us a pullback, and now we have finished this Fibonacci. So starting with a new Fibonacci, this is the most relevant Fibonacci. We have a low point, and then we have this high point here. So we could get a pullback possibly all the way down to this zone right here, which is 156.9 area, so pretty much 157 potential. If we get a pullback to 157, we can then shoot all the way back up to a possible 160.5 area. So that is what I'm anticipating right now, is a pullback. Now it doesn't mean that this full Fibonacci has to be I'm thinking that this smaller Fibonacci right here, where we have this smaller pivotal point and this overall high point right here off of the daily, and if we drop to a 4-hour, we can see this 4-hour has a clear pivotal point here, and then this most recent information of this pivotal point here. So if we do get a 50% retracement in this zone around 157.8 area, which is right next to a mid-level, I am personally thinking that we could get a buy opportunity in order to buy back up. Right now we are currently hitting some consolidation, so we'll just kind of see and monitor what is going on with UJ, but I'm still expecting that price is going to continue to pull back before we get the continuation to the upside. So we'll just continue to monitor that, and then we'll go from there. Last but not least is US 30. Oh wait, I also want to check UCAD too. So after US 30, I'll check UCAD. US 30 right now has just been chopping the last couple of days. So up, down, up, down, up, down. Literally just in this little box zone. I can literally take this and just put a box around it. And we can't really do anything until this consolidation is done with. So once we get a movement to the upside or a movement to the downside, we're just kind of in a standstill off of the daily. So for that reason, I'm not doing anything at all. Because again, I'm not too familiar with the US 30 as of yet. I'm just monitoring it, see how it plays out, see how it works. And then, trying to get some good opportunity calls and to see if this will give me further information for the future. So yeah, I'm just kind of watching that. Let's take a quick glance at UCAD and see if there's a trade opportunity coming off of this one. So I was looking at UCAD off of the daily, and off of the daily I was anticipating sells. So we had this nice break to the downside, nice pullback, break of structure here to the upside. But we had this major break of structure here off of the daily to the downside. So we were anticipating, or I was anticipating, a pullback. And then we need to find some sort of resistance up here. And then we would be aiming to break to the downside. So as of right now, we don't have enough momentum to actually get in for a sell at this very time. So off of the daily, we have this nice continuation down, a pullback zone, and now we're just waiting for a break of structure off of the daily and 4-hour, so therefore we can look for a sell opportunity. As of right now, all we have is continuation of the bullish trend. So we have this higher low, we have this higher low, we also have this lower high. That was the beginning of me looking for a trade. But now we presented ourselves with a higher low and a new high. So we haven't broken this high, but we broke this high right here. So we could get a double top, and then we could get a possible pullback. So same concept here, right? We could get a double top, and then we could get a pullback down, hopefully a break of structure, and then a pullback to, kind of like the midpoint or just a minor pullback, and then shoot to go down, and I would be looking in order to get into this trade right here. So I'm still bearish as of right now, but I have to wait for, you know, price to set up for me. And right now price has not shown me any structure point in order to actually get into any of these trades. So I'm just holding off at this very moment, and if we do get an opportunity, then I will look to go ahead and get in. Outside of that, that's pretty much all I got for today. I'm just going to continue to monitor GU and continue to monitor gold, see what they want to do for the rest of today, and then we'll be back tomorrow to see what other opportunities there are in the market. So therefore, if we can get into any trades tomorrow, that would be awesome. But I'm really not expecting a trade by tomorrow. Maybe UJ, maybe. Gold, no, that's probably going to be another week or so. Not silver. Silver's too extended. Yeah, the only two opportunities I can see is maybe GU. We can get an add-on, maybe by tomorrow, if that. Probably not. We'll probably continue the rest of the day because it's already gave us the pullback, and it's starting to try to break out. But the only thing I can see is maybe UJ, maybe UCAD. Those are the only two other pairs that I could see us getting into an opportunity this week, if we got into an opportunity this week. If nothing shows up tomorrow, more than likely I won't get an opportunity until Monday. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got for today, guys. Y'all take it easy, and thank you for your time.